Hey friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Mallory, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you guys what I used from my hospital bag. So let's get started. I gave birth almost 2 months ago, actually 7 weeks ago yesterday from filming this video. So I'm filming this on February 27th. Yes, February 27th. It's really hard these days to keep track of like the days and all the weeks that go by. So anyway, so I wanted to do a kind of a recap of what I had in my hospital bag, because there are things that I used and was really glad that I brought to the hospital, and then there's other things that I just did not use, and part of that is because I ended up with an emergency C-section. And if you missed my birth story, it's really epic and you should go check it out in the cards after this video. But there are some things that I just simply did not use because of that circumstance, and then other things that I didn't use just because it ended up being that I just didn't need them. So I did overpack on quite a few things. So I want to share with you guys what I actually used and what was helpful for me, especially in the event of a C-section, just in case that is going to be your situation. Like if you know you're going to have a C-section, or you kind of want to plan on if you have a C-section. So let me share with you guys. First, I'm going to share what I used and what was helpful. The suitcase that I used to bring my stuff in was a carry-on size suitcase, and that in a rolling one. So that was a really good choice. However, I did need an additional piece of luggage. So I used a shoulder bag, this bag from the 31 brand, and that was nice to put like my journal in there and essential oils and just some other, my camera bag and stuff like that for bringing to the hospital. So I did need something other than just the roller bag, and then I also brought my little purse. This first thing is actually something that was like moderately helpful. I only used it a few times, like a couple of times, and that was my pink blush maternity robe. And it was nice I had a friend that came and visited me, and it was nice to put on when she was there. But really most of my visitors was my parents, and like I didn't need to dress up or really be extra modest for them. So I only wore the robe a couple times. And the room was not cold because we were able to control the temperature of our individual room. And I always kept it a little on the warm side because I felt like I was tending to be colder. Plus I didn't want Max to be cold. So it was almost too hot to wear the robe actually. So if that's the case for you, like if you're hospital, if you have like if you can control the climate in your individual room, then you may not need a robe, but you might want it in case you're gonna have visitors and you just kind of want to look a little more presentable. Okay, my going home outfit, I definitely wore the denim shirt, the stretchy pants, socks. That was fine. I only used one of my nursing bras, but that was definitely, or maybe I used both, I can't remember, but yes, definitely nursing bras were good. The no skid socks were good, because at first they actually didn't give me no skid socks at the hospital, so I was really glad I had my own. Another thing, and this is for baby, I did use his Patriot swaddle and hat for newborn pictures, which I'll throw up one of them with the letter board. And that's another thing I used, was the letter board. Very glad that I brought that. I also brought a swaddle sack, and I used that a few times because swaddling with a blanket, you guys, just does not cut it. And I highly, highly recommend that you get many swaddle sacks and try different ones to see which ones work best for you. But yes, swaddle sacks are amazing and a must-have for a newborn baby. I did bring 2 different pacifiers because our hospital, as a baby-friendly hospital, does not provide pacifiers. And I'm really glad I brought 2 different kinds of pacifiers because he preferred the even flow one over the ma'am pacifier. And these were just ones that I got for free in baby boxes. So I'm really glad that I brought those because the even flow one did help calm him sometimes. He wore his newborn size coming home outfit, so we definitely used that. I used my toiletry bag. I used most of the things that I brought in the toiletry bag. I took a few showers while I was in the hospital. I was in the hospital for 4 days. We came in early in the wee hours in the morning on Wednesday and left Saturday afternoon. So I was there for quite a while, and so I did use most of my toiletry items, toothbrush, body care stuff, you know, hairbrush, all that kind of stuff. Definitely bring extra hair ties, because if you have a C-section and you drop a hair tie like I did on the floor, you will be unable to bend down and grab it. So I was super glad that I had extras in my bag, so I didn't have to like call my nurse to be like, hey, I dropped my hair tie, can you come grab it for me? My snack bag was definitely a must-have. Very glad I brought that. And I do wish that I had brought more snacks since I was in the hospital for that long. Of course, I wasn't anticipating to be in that long because I didn't anticipate a C-section. But if you know you're going to be in the hospital for a little longer, definitely bring more snacks. Also, having coconut water. I had my husband, I don't think I brought that initially, but like when he went home and came back, I had him bring some coconut water, and that was really great. You are so thirsty after giving birth, and especially if you're breastfeeding. So coconut water is really hydrating, and you know, it's a nice sweet drink. My favorite, really the only kind that I actually enjoy drinking, is the Harmless Harvest coconut water. It's pink. It's not heated really high. Anyway, it's least processed, and so that's the kind that I had. You can get it from Costco. I also am glad I brought my supplements. Now, I did kind of forget to take them the first couple of days, but the hospital actually did not give me prenatal vitamins, which I thought they usually do that, but they did not do that for me. So I'm really glad that I had my own prenatal with me and my other supplements that I normally take. I was really glad to have my Earth Mama nipple butter. Definitely needed that because I was in a lot of pain at first. I used my electronics. I used my camera, my Canon camera that I'm filming on, you know, my iPhone cord, something that was super vital, and I was really glad I had, and kind of wish that I had another one just to have in reserve, was my external, or like my portable charger for my phone, because the bed was not in a very good place to have my phone plugged in while I was in bed, and I always wanted my phone right next to me because I was using it if I was awake, especially if I was alone, and then I just always wanted it near me, like if I was sleeping. And so having that external charger was vital. And then like I would charge my phone with the charger and then plug the charger into the wall to charge while my phone was like full battery, if that makes sense. So I definitely recommend bringing an external charger, if not two, because, and also a really long cord. I think my cord is 6 feet. So definitely bring a long cord as well, just so, you know, you're like, if you're breastfeeding on the other hand and your like external charger is sitting on your table and you have to have the phone in your other hand, I don't know, just it's nice having a really long cord. Another option would be to bring an extension cord so you can plug into the wall, but then that might kind of get cumbersome, like you don't want people tripping over that. So I think having an external charger for your phone is the best policy. I did end up using my Boppy Pillow. I didn't use it for like the first day, I think, just because the nurses would like kind of prop me up with their pillows from the hospital. But after a day or two, I was like, you know what, I want to try out my Boppy, and that was great. I can't recommend the Boppy enough. Or I think the other one is called My Breast Friend. I don't have experience with that one, but I know some people, like if somebody doesn't like the Boppy, they tend to like the My Breast Friend. But I really like the Boppy. Here it is with this this cover on it. And so that was definitely nice. I know some people say don't bring your Boppy or nursing pillow to the hospital, but it really is much easier to prop yourself up using one pillow than trying to arrange like 5 different pillows in your bed, like those thin floppy hospital pillows. So yes, I say, my opinion is yes, bring your Boppy. And then finally, I did bring the baby blanket to cover Max in his car seat when we went home. It was a really nice sunny day, but it was still a little chilly. So, you know, you don't want your baby to get cold. And then I also am glad I did not bring things like maternity pads, perineal spray, diapers, wipes, the hospital provided me with plenty of those huge oversized pads that really look like doggy pee pads in a way. Really, they're adult diapers. And they provided me those. They provided me with the mesh panties, and they provided me plenty to take home, which was amazing. I still have leftovers in the closet. I guess I'll save that for the next baby. Actually, somebody told me that those big pads are really great for like blowouts or for a portable changing table, so that's a great tip. But I'm really glad I didn't bring diapers or wipes either, because again, they provided us with the Pampers Swaddler diapers and some wipes, so definitely do not need to bring that. And then since I had a C-section, I did not even need perineal spray. All right, so those are the things that were helpful and that I am glad that I brought, things that I actually used. So now I'm going to talk about the things that I brought but I did not use or that were not helpful. Okay, I'm just gonna knock this one out in one fell swoop. So the items that I brought but did not need because I had a C-section were, and I'm gonna read them off, my flip-flops. So I brought flip-flops because I thought, well, I might wanna labor in the shower and I wanna wear flip-flops. Now, I did shower a couple of times, but it's like post-birth and you're just not worried about like, oh no, I'm walking on this public bathroom floor. I mean, in a way, it's like, why do you even need to wear flip-flops in a shower at the hospital? Because they thoroughly clean every room and bathroom between patients. So there really isn't a need, but I know some people just feel weird. But honestly, even if you're one of those people that feels weird being barefoot in a public shower, you know, like in a shower that's not your own, you're probably not gonna care after you give birth, whether you give birth vaginally or C-section. So I did not use my flip-flops. I did not use them when I showered. So that was, and then I wasn't walking the halls in labor. So I did not use my flip-flops at all. Swimsuit, again, same thing. I did not, since I wasn't laboring and giving birth vaginally, I did not labor in the shower. I did not need the perineal balm. I didn't need the tennis balls or the birth ball because, again, yes, I did go into natural labor before having the C-section, but I wasn't like in an LDPR room laboring and needing those tools. Oh, also, I did not use the Freedom Mom Peri bottle. Again, you just don't, I guess you could, yeah, like you still are bleeding after you have a C-section, of course, but you are not tender down there. So I didn't find the need for a Peri bottle. Okay, I did bring some clothing I didn't use. I didn't use my headband. I didn't wear my capri leggings, and I didn't use the PJ set. I just wore the hospital gown the whole time. And honestly, like I'm glad that I didn't buy my own hospital gown. You know, a lot of people like to buy the cute hospital gown and bring it with them, but I was perfectly fine to wear the hospital's gown because I could change it every day. I could get a fresh new one every day. They had breastfeeding friendly hospital gowns, so it was just like wearing a night robe or a nightgown. And yeah, I had no qualms with wearing the hospital gown. It was honestly kind of nice to wear something that I knew that I would not have to launder. So I say take full advantage of what the hospital provides you and don't create extra work for yourself if you don't have to. Some baby things I did not use. I did not use the muslin blanket that I brought. I brought a muslin blanket because I wanted to wrap Max up in it for like a day and then have my husband take it home to the dog to smell before we brought Max home. However, we did do that same concept, but we ended up just bringing, or he ended up just bringing back the first hospital hat that he wore. So it was neat, we got to keep it. Mark just brought that hat back for Zoe that Max wore and gave that to her to kind of cuddle with and sniff. So we didn't use the blanket just because we used the hat instead. I also did not use the burp cloths or the sleeper gown that I brought. You know, those were just like just in case. Really, your baby is going to, normally the hospital should provide some kind of shirt or onesie. They had long sleeve shirts for the baby and a swaddle blanket and a hat. And that's really all your baby needs, because when you're breastfeeding, you're going to be doing skin to skin, you're going to be unwrapping them. So really you don't need any clothes to the baby other than the clothes you're going to bring them home in. So, and in like with me, with bringing the special swaddle for pictures. But yeah, really the whole time in the hospital, he just wore the shirt that they provided. I did not use the 0 to 3 month coming home outfit because of the newborn outfit, but I'm still glad that I brought that, because of course I didn't know how big he was going to be. So I still think that it's good to have different options for a coming home outfit. And also, like, just in case your baby has a blowout, like right before you leave the hospital, you can always have a backup. I also didn't use the baby soap that I brought. I brought that doTERRA baby wash, and when we gave him a bath, I think it was when he was like 2 or 3 days old, I just used what the hospital had. Again, it was just way easier to just go with what they gave you. The nurse was helping me out. I felt like I was kind of imposing, if like, hey, can we use, it would have been fine if we would have used the soap, my soap, but I just didn't want to mess with it. You're tired, you really don't care. So I just went with what the hospital gave us. Another baby thing that I brought and didn't use was his baby book. In the baby book that I have, it's this Catholic themed baby book. They don't have a spot for footprints, because I thought, oh, I'll bring the baby book and they can do footprints in the baby book, but there's not any place in the baby book for footprints. So plus they gave us his footprints on this sheet of paper with, you know, it's kind of like an informal birth certificate, and they put his footprints on that. So that was fine. So I didn't like sit and write in his baby book while I was in the hospital. But if your baby book does have a spot for doing footprints, I would recommend bringing that, because then you can ask the nurses to put footprints into the baby book. So it's just, mine did not have space, and I guess I just didn't realize that. Some personal items that I brought but didn't use was my Kindle. I did not expect to use my Kindle anyway. Don't know why I brought it. My bullet journal and my headphones. Pretty much the only toiletries that I didn't use was my makeup. So I brought my makeup and I did not put it on once. Again, the care factor about how you look after you give birth is like way down here. Like normally if you're up here, like normally I'm up here on like how I care that I look. I was like down here. So I know that some ladies do like to do their makeup because it helps them feel fresh, and usually in typical situations I do like doing my makeup. It helps me feel put together and just helps me feel good about myself, but I just didn't care. I didn't care. After giving birth, all I wanted was to feel clean, was to take a shower every day, wash my face, brush my hair, and that was enough for me. And I didn't touch my makeup once. Most of the things in the little breastfeeding kit that I brought, I didn't use. The only thing that I used was the nipple butter. I did not use my nursing cover because, like I said, pretty much my only visitors except my one friend were my parents, and they didn't care if I breastfed in front of them without a cover. So I didn't use that. I didn't use the haka. I didn't use the nipple shield, and I didn't use the bottle, thankfully, because breastfeeding was going fine. I mean, other than the pain, but he was able to get enough to eat. So thankfully I didn't need to use the bottle. I didn't use an essential oil diffuser or my essential oils. I actually didn't even bring my essential oil diffuser. That's something I had put into my 31 bag when I was like prepping my bags before realizing like, oh, I'm actually in labor. But then right before we went to the hospital, I decided last minute to take the diffuser out because I was like, well, I'm not going to be laboring and giving birth vaginally. And that was my plan, to like have the essential oil diffuser going while I was in labor to, you know, help calm me or energize me or whatever I needed. But I thought, you know what, I'm probably not going to whip it out and use it postpartum. And that was a really good call because I'm pretty sure that I would not have used it in the room postpartum, just because of all these other things, like not caring about makeup or the soap or whatever. So I did not even bring my essential oil diffuser. I did bring my pack of oils. just in case I wanted to use them, but I did not use my essential oils at all. If I hopefully do this again, give birth, I still will bring my essential oils and the diffuser if I'm doing a VBAC. I just, in this situation, I just didn't use my oils. I did not use the towel that I brought. I don't even think I put that in the car, but I was gonna bring a towel for the ride to the hospital just in case my water broke, or coming back home in case I bled through. But honestly, those pads that they give you are so massive. Like, you'd have to be bleeding, you'd have to be hemorrhaging to bleed through one of those. And if you're hemorrhaging, you shouldn't be leaving the hospital. So the likelihood of leaking through that pad is very low. So didn't need a towel in the car. I also did not use my own pillow. I did bring it and leave it in the car, but I did not use my own pillow because the hospital had plenty of pillows. And again, I just did not feel like bothering, right? Like, hey, I need a few more pillows. Okay. And they bring them. So it was fine. I did not use the breast pump. I don't even think I brought it. I don't even think it was in the car. So, but some hospitals, again, don't take this as blanket advice, but some hospitals will assist you. Like, the nurses will help you figure out your breast pump. So I don't know in the future, I don't know if I'll bring it next time or not, but did not use that. Really didn't even think about using it because your milk oftentimes is not in when you're in the hospital. And then finally didn't use the diaper bag. I wasn't anticipating to use that because it was just like in the car, just as an in case thing. So that just stayed in the car the whole time and I didn't use it. Okay, this last section is what I wish I had. And really the only thing that I did not have at all, and kind of wish I would have had, but it's like you would never even think of this, is I wish I had one of those grabber thingies. So you know those things, it's like I don't even know what they're called, but it's like a stick and that has a grabber on the end, and it's like for grabbing things from the top of the shelf, like if you're short, which I am short, whatever those are called, but not for reaching up, but for reaching down. Like I mentioned, like dropping the hair tie. I wish I would have had a grabber thingy to, like, if I dropped something. There were several instances where I dropped something and nobody was around, like my parents weren't there and Mark wasn't there, and it's like, well, dang it, I need that, and I really don't feel like bending over because of the C-section incision, right? So you have this incision that's really low in your abdomen, and bending over is painful. Unless you're gonna like go and squat and grab it, which you're also not gonna feel like squatting right after you give birth. Yeah, so one of those grabber things would have been nice. And then I guess the other thing that I wish I would have had is maybe more snacks, like more snack bars, like fruit and nut bars or protein bars. Those are just really great snacks in between meals, quick energy source. So I wish I would have packed more snacks and more coconut water. Yeah, there's really not anything major that I was like, oh, I wish I had XYZ, and I didn't. So it was just all those things that I didn't end up using. So I really, if I had to recap what I didn't need, it was the things that I didn't need because I had a C-section, not a vaginal birth. But again, it wasn't planned. So, you know, can't really, you know, whatever on that. I overpacked my clothes, and I overpacked with baby clothes and with like things to do, like the Kindle and my headphones. Like, when you're in the hospital, like all you want to do is just stare at your baby and try to sleep and breastfeed. That's pretty much it. And then if you have a smartphone, you know, that can be your entertainment. Like, we didn't even use the TV that much. So yeah, those are pretty much the things that I didn't need. All right, well, that's the end of this video. I can hear Max stirring in the other room, so it's time to feed him. But in the comments below, let me know what you found helpful for you if you have given birth in the hospital, and what you wish you hadn't brought or what was not helpful for you. If you are not subscribed to my channel, I would really love it if you hit the subscribe button and join my online tribe. And until next time, take care and have a great week.